Alright, here we go. I am the Albatross and welcome back to the final film of my top 5 favorite films of all time. We're going to take it out in grand style, but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and have a quick review. Number 5, Little Shop of Horrors. Number 4, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Number 3, Clash of the Titans. Number 2, Tombstone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. That was a very cheap drum roll, but I'll take what I can get right now. The number 1 film of my top 5 favorite films of all time is... Here we go. The Dark Knight. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Batman versus the Joker in one of the most epic showdowns in the history of Hollywood. I was a huge fan of Batman Begins, so there was no doubt that I was looking forward to this one because I was a fan of the original Tim Burton movie, which did feature the Joker as its main antagonist, but I was also kind of leery about Heath Ledger being hired to do the Joker. Man, was I ever wrong. This was not only one of the greatest Batman films ever put to film, this was just an all-around great movie. He had a good performance as Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne / Batman. It was kind of hard to hear him sometimes because he kind of talk like this because he wanted to mask his voice. But you know what? I'm one of the people that didn't have as much of a problem with it. I understood what he was going for. What can I say about the performance that the late Heath Ledger gave as the Joker? When he's on the screen, he steals the show. It's a damn shame he wasn't around to see the legacy that this performance was going to leave. I mean, years later, there are people who still recognize this as one of the top performances of all time. Batman has been on the scene for years. He's kicking ass. He's taking out mobsters. And basically, Gotham is becoming a better place thanks to Batman because he's giving people hope. He's like this urban myth. You know, at the beginning of the movie, it's like somebody's doing this little drug deal and they see the bat signal in the sky. Oh, man, not today. I don't feel good. Oh, come on, man. You really gonna fall for that? And then this menacing force, this tornado, this hurricane, the Joker comes into town and he's like, he wants to have fun with Batman. He sees what he's doing. He sees him putting on the mask and he can see that beneath that mask, Batman is probably just as, if not more psychotic than the Joker is. The Joker's introduction was by far one of the greatest cinema moments in history. When the Joker comes into this film, he establishes who he is as one of the craziest ways ever. He establishes right off the top, yeah, I'm batshit crazy. The Joker walks in on this meeting by the mob and just basically takes it over. You know, one of the greatest scenes ever. How would you like to see a magic trick? I want to make this pencil disappear. Ah! This was without a doubt not only one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, but my favorite movie of all time because I just grew up a huge fan of Batman, and to see the material being taken so seriously and given so much heart. Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon gives a wonderful performance, and Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent / Two-Face just nails this performance. He really pulls you in, and when he goes from good to bad, you feel it. And although you might not agree with his actions, you can see why he's doing it. You can see the emotion. It was a great performance by everybody involved. It's really unfortunate that the circumstances of Heath Ledger's death did kind of overshadow some of the release of the film. But with that said, the movie still stands on its own as a great epic. It's a shame that this movie wasn't nominated for an Academy Award, but it is also the reason that now when you get the Best Picture nominations for the Academy Awards, there's like 10 pictures instead of just 5, because there was just such an outcry of what the fuck when when Dark Knight didn't get nominated. And there was so much hard work put into it by both the filmmakers and the actors. The Dark Knight doesn't just transcend comic book movies, it transcends movies in general. You know, there's just so many aspects about the film that I love. And like the first time you're watching it and Heath Ledger gets spawned by the throat, he's got his knife and he's like, you want to know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker and a fiend, and one day, and it's like, oh okay, well, you give background to the Joker, alright, whatever. And then later on, he's got Rachel Dawes, and he's got the knife, and he goes, you don't know how I got these scars. My wife was in deep with the mob. And I'm like, oh, wow. My mind is officially fucking blown right now, because you realize that the playing field that this guy is on, nobody, not even Batman, is on this playing field, and it really puts you into the. At this point, you're like, all right, let's let this play out. I am officially invested, and I already knew at that point in the movie. It's like, yeah, this is my shit. In the cinema, I remember turning over to my girlfriend at the time when Heath Ledger was dressed as the nurse in the hospital, and I mean, when he walked out and he sets the explosives, right after that scene, I turned to her and I go, he's going to win the Academy Award. He's going to win the Oscar. That is what just clinched it. And by God, he won it. And I stand by the statement that even if he was alive, he would have still won it. I don't believe it was just a pity Oscar because he passed away. I believe that this was one of the all-time greatest performances in movie history. The time, the dedication, the work he put into that character, it's timeless, it's iconic. And it's going to stand the test of time. I don't care who does the Joker next. It's going to be, you're going to have tough shoes to fill. I said the same thing about Heath Ledger when it becoming the Joker as far as regards to Jack Nicholson, but I was proven wrong. So hopefully I am proven wrong, but honestly, I just don't see that happening anytime soon, because this is just the definitive version of the Joker. Many people will say the animated series. Well, I'm talking about live, flesh and blood, human being performances, blood, sweat, and tears. Heath Ledger gave it all, and I give him much respect for that, because as a cinephile, as a movie fan, this is one of the performances that I will cherish the rest of my life. Thank you, Heath Ledger. Thank you, Dark Knight. Thank you, Christopher Nolan. Thank you, Christian Bale. One of the all-time greatest films of all time, my top film of all time, The Dark Knight. I am the Albatross. Thank you for checking out my top 5 favorite films of all time. Until next time, peace. Oh, come on, man.